if your content is movies, not only Hollywood but world cinema, like today, I saw The Sweeney, yesterday I saw this French film, Holy Motors. It's a nice sort of selection of a varied type of movies. So I think if your subject matter or your content is movies, it's a real must go to event.
It's very, very useful for me because as a freelancer who lives within 2 hours from London, there's not many regional screenings. So if I have to come in London every time, then I have to pay myself because I'm freelance. So it's about £20–30 per film. So something like this is absolutely perfect for me.
I'm a film programmer, so I basically sort of select the films that we would show at the cinema. So this is a great opportunity for me because I actually get to see them before I book them, whereas often I'll just have to rely on reviews or watching trailers. So it's really good to get a chance to actually see the whole film.
It's a great chance to network with other critics and bloggers as well, to find out what they do and what websites they write for and everything else.
Definitely worth coming. It's a good chance to socialise a little bit because it can get a bit isolating being regional press and see some old friends, but also to see, key stuff that's coming up and just get to maybe meet a few publicists as well because we don't always get to meet them. There's a lot of email exchange going on, so that's quite nice.
It's a very passionate, creative spirit that I think is celebrated in the film and I think is still alive today, and that's as much a part of what Belfast and Northern Ireland is and are as all the other aspects of Belfast and Northern Ireland that people are perhaps more familiar with.
I've lived in Hackney for over 10 years, and so when I set out to make the film, I approached it with the mentality of if you've only got one film to make in your life, what's that film going to be?
I wanted, in particular, and Pat encouraged me to do this, to make this a hell of a lot more political and a hell of a lot more angry than Michael had allowed himself to get in his novel.
Gangster films and westerns, but gangster films certainly, every generation has its gangster story, and I think they're all interconnected.
We're going to have an underwater sort of almost a dance in the pool, and I thought, how is this going to work? And then Jonathan and Valerie showed us, standing on flat ground, what they were thinking, and needless to say, that little dance was very inspiring. It was actually one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's a good chance to get to see a lot of what's on offer in the coming months. It's a good chance to also hear directly from the filmmakers' mouths what the process is. It's also interesting in the fact that we get sort of like the BIFA Q&A we had earlier today, or in fact the Q&A David Hughes did on the first day, where we get to hear about how to get into journalism.
Come and see lots of new films and meet interesting people, myself accepted, but just meet interesting people and talk about films, because that's what it's all about. It's all about the films.
You have to strike a balance. I mean, often you are going to see a film that you know is not for you, and it's no good me slagging it off because I think it's kind of juvenile, and I mean, that's the skill of what we do, is to try and be objective.
A lot of people come to me asking to write and be published immediately, and we just can't do that. You have to have a foot in the door, and I'd say local papers, and if you can't get any work experience like that, start your own blog. Just get your writing out so you've got something to show editors like me, and if you're good, then it's easy from there.
it's been a big year for films already, and it seems like autumn's going to be just as big, really. So I think it's quite exciting.
Thing about the British film industry at the moment is that it's bucking the trend economically. When we talk about economic doom and gloom, film and television is a real bright spot for jobs, for growth, for opportunities for people.